All right, this will be money. I can feel it. Okay, ready?
Some musicians seem to arrive fully formed. Others spend years collecting places, experiences, sounds, and stories until eventually all of those pieces start to sound like one person. Our guest today is singer, songwriter, and multi-instrumentalist Ben Tully. Ben's musical journey has taken him a long way from his roots in the Seattle area. He spent more than a decade living in Hong Kong, where he worked as a teacher and musician and recorded music along the way. As a musician, Ben draws from the great folk rock tradition of the 1960s and 1970s. Artists like Bob Dylan, Joni Mitchell, Neil Young, George Harrison, and Gene Clark. But there's also a modern, introspective quality to his songwriting, and when he performs live, he has a particularly interesting approach. With an acoustic guitar, a loop pedal, and harmonizer, Ben builds layers of guitar, vocals, and harmony right in front of the audience, turning one musician into something that can sound remarkably close to a full band. His music catalog goes back well over a decade, from early recordings and Hong Kong-based projects to his solo album, Through the Sound, and his recently released Structural Integrity. So today, we're talking about music, songwriting, and places that shape us, the strange paths that bring us home, and what it means to keep making music after all the twists life throws your way. Please welcome Ben Tully to the show.
So you grew up on Bainbridge Island in Pacific Northwest, and
Yep.
From what I read, you fell in love with the Beatles,
Yep, I did.
like most of us.
Uh-huh.
And was that what initially set you down the path to your musical journey?
Yeah, that was definitely like a big moment. Specifically, when George Harrison passed away, I was 12 years old, and the Beatles were on the radio like all the time. And so 12, I don't know, that's a pretty impressionable age when you're 12. So that kind of captured my attention. However, because both of my parents are musicians and my mom, being a piano teacher, would have, so from as long as I can remember, I was surrounded by music. But then at age 12 was when I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. I was immersed in it, and then that was when I decided for myself, like, okay, I got to play guitar, I got to start a band. Still doing it all these years later.
And from what I understand, you went to college and majored in music?
Yeah.
But it was classical music, correct?
Right. When I was finishing up high school, I was kind of thinking, well, I don't really know what I want to study, so I'll just do the thing that seems the most fun. So I played the trumpet. I still play the trumpet, but that was my main instrument at that point. I still love listening to classical music, but my passion has always been, pop rock. Mm-hmm.
Particularly that 60s, 70s
Yes,
folk
absolutely. Yep, that's it. That's where the heart of the music I love. But I really listen to everything that I like. If it's good, it doesn't really matter what genre it is.
Have you worked in any of the famous Seattle sound into your music, or you sort of just skipped over that?
I would say the Fleet Foxes and Death Cab for Cutie are an influence for sure. The Decemberists from Oregon, close to Seattle. The Shins, a lot of the sub pop stuff. I remember going to a lot of those concerts when I was in high school, and of course, all those artists are influenced by the same the same stuff I am from the 60s and 70s. So it's all kind of mixed, I think. begins not with a roar, but with a whisper. Steady stream grows from the source. She will not stop to be swallowed by apathy. We all are one communal soul. This land is run by the cult of an ego. What will it take to bring them down? We sure could use a dose of wisdom. Maybe we need a mighty storm, Let there be light again. Illuminate within. Open the door, breathe in the air, shrug off the burden from your shoulders. Another day, new type of symmetry. From dust we came, and dust will go, Oh, let there be light again. Illuminate within. Let there be love again. Illuminate within. Thank you.
And then after college, you moved to Hong Kong to teach English,
Yes.
and you continue to play and make music over there?
I did. Yeah, it obviously slowed down a bit as I was sort of like adjusting to a new place and working full time. I couldn't help myself, looking for open mic nights, trying to meet other musicians, and yeah, over those 11 years, it felt like every year, up until COVID, like so many people, every year I got a little more musical opportunities in Hong Kong.
Did the culture over there play any part in your musical development? Because you were there for over a decade, and you were, still a young kid.
Yeah, I don't think so. I did learn a couple songs in Chinese. I think my most viewed video on YouTube is me singing in Chinese. But I would not say that had an impact on like my musical development, like that culture. Some of the people I met for sure.
So you moved back here about 2022,
Mm-hmm.
right? And to be closer to family?
Yeah.
Okay. And coming from Asia and the Pacific Northwest, what was your impression of the Sonoran Desert here and our music culture? Because it's quite unique.
Yeah. Well, my parents retired here, but they also met here many years ago, and so I've been coming to Arizona all my life, but living here for the first time in 2022. I'd seen saguaro cacti before, but just being like really living in this area was like, wow, this is impressive. Polar opposite from Hong Kong, which is just like you can't see the sky because there's just so many tall buildings. Here it's like expansive. I was very surprised how many places have live music here. That felt like a very novel thing, both growing up in Seattle and in Hong Kong. Like to have a musician in a restaurant be like, oh, well, that's kind of cool. But here it seems to be everywhere. So I kind of put my hat in the ring and started emailing some places and have found quite a bunch of venues that I've been able to play at. You know, my only connection here were my parents. I didn't go to the U of A, so I basically started. I mean, my parents introduced me to a few people in, like, not necessarily that own venues, but could point me in some different directions. But most of it was just me, you know, calling up places, getting rejected a bunch, but eventually finding some places that wanted me to play there. And now I do a lot of events as well, like parties and wherever I can do it. It's just my favorite thing to play live, so I'm fortunate that Tucson seems to support that so much.
Now, I understand you returned home a number of years ago to record a couple albums with your childhood friends.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like?
Oh, it was great. One of my childhood friends, I sent a demo, this is like 10 years ago, of just me on guitar, and I just like, hey, what do you think you can do with this? And he was like, oh, well, let me give it a whirl. And he added all this amazing, this arrangement that included mellotron and drums and guitar and bass and like a synthesizer and French horn. And I was like, oh my gosh, I did not expect you to do that. So that sort of planted the seed of like, maybe if I move to the U.S., we can actually do it in the same place. So yeah, we've all known each other for 25 years, and summer 2024, summer 2025, same thing, same guys, recorded a different album each time, so pretty special.
Well, it sounds like really crisp, really clear,
Thank you.
And like masterfully produced. So whoever's behind
yes,
that, you know,
shout out to Ryan Hume.
Please let them know.
Yeah, I will.
So I wanted to ask about a couple of songs, because I was listening to the opening track from your latest album, Structural Integrity. It's called Dust. And I put up the lyrics, and I thought I knew what it was about from the first couple lines. And then after the first couple lines, it goes in a total different direction. So do you want to talk about that song a little bit? What it's actually about?
Well,
Clue us in.
I was partially inspired by the book The Grapes of Wrath. I read it in high school, and then I read it again a few years ago. And so the word dust is repeated over and over again in that book. Steinbeck talking about the communal soul that, like, we need to remember that we're all, like, we all have this human connection. So that's sort of like the big picture. But then more specifically, like, I guess over the past couple of years, been very concerned about the direction that this country has been going in, and just trying to make some sense out of that and try to look beyond the here and now. And there's like maybe sort of a spiritual element in there, but yeah, I owe it all to Steinbeck. And then later on the song Structural Integrity, it starts out with Somewhere East of Eden, West of Rome, which is another shout out to John. So
very nice. Now you have like over 300 covers that you can play alongside, you know, dozens of original songs. When you are playing a gig, how do you like mix those songs in, you know, without just doing a total covers thing or, you know, losing your identity of your original stuff, because it is amazing. How do you work them in and keep the energy up? Or
I mean, I try to really read the room. I rarely have a prepared set list, unless if it's like I know that a lot of people are going to be really paying attention, then I'll prepare something. But if it's just like a restaurant, I just sort of like read the room. How are people like, oh, that song got a lot of applause. Maybe I'll go in that direction. I struggle to play my originals when I don't think that many people are paying attention. It just feels like a waste. Like, I don't know. It's like I put my heart and soul into this song and nobody's listening. So,
well, we do listen. I can
Well-
tell you from the fan perspective, what we catch is something new and unique. We can hum along and we can sing along to everything that's comfortable, but what really catches our heart is that new song that we've never heard before.
yeah.
And that's what makes us perk up and say, hey, what is that? Who is this person?
Right.
And that is one of the greatest things for me in music, when I hear something that I've never heard before. And
Yeah. Good. Well, yeah, I do want to be a little more bold with my originals.
so we might not be paying attention like, that classic 60s songs, but we are listening. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Appreciate that.
One morning you woke up there, and then you decided to paint your masterpiece. The colors within you, they all will blend just like colors on the autumn leaves. And people, they told you that no one would hear what you had to say. And still you continue, despite the fact that you weren't made for these crazy times. Just like those demons, eventually would just have their way. And still you continue to write such wonder for the world, waiting for the day. One morning you woke up there, and then you decided to paint your masterpiece.
Yeah. Let's talk about your gear a little bit. So
Sure.
you're a solo performer, you bring everything with you. Do you change it up depending on the venue?
Not really.
Okay.
I just like to be comfortable in what I've got. So for almost 10 years now, I've been using this, it's called the Boss VE8 Acoustic Singer, and it's specifically for acoustic guitar playing singers like myself to be able to loop parts and make harmonies as well. I've also got a bass, an octave pedal, so I can bring my guitar down by an octave so it sounds like a bass, and an electric guitar overdrive pedal. So just those, like the big one, and then those two little ones, like guitar effects pedals. And then I have a shaker, a tambourine, a slide, because I like to do slide guitar sometimes.
So I understand you're married, you have a son, you got a cat. You got a ton of hobbies, and you work.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you balance all that and continue to keep your creative fires going and put out albums and do album releases and?
Well, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like as I've gotten older, I've been more disciplined with my practicing. I'll just like every week I need to do musical things at least 4 times a week. So I'll just like, okay, Monday I'm gonna learn 3 new covers. Tuesday it's not always that regimented. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes it doesn't feel very balanced, but I think playing all the time really helps. It motivates you when you actually have to play in front of people. It's like, okay, I better sound good and I better be fresh. So, and then I think there's just always been that voice inside of me saying like, you need to create something new and original. And it's always been there for 25 years. So sometimes it's louder and I just write some songs and yeah, I'm still figuring it out really. No, not so much. I mean, my album was released at the end of June, so I'm just starting to spin the wheels on what I'm going to do for the next one. I've already made sort of like an idea document of like what was I thinking of doing for the last one, but I didn't actually have time for it, like concepts or whether that's like songwriting techniques or lyrical themes or instruments. So that's kind of where I'm at, just starting to brainstorm a little bit. I've never done like an official tour. That could be fun, but it's definitely hard to do with my family life and having a job. So yeah, just powering through, doing on average 6 to 8 gigs a month here in Tucson. I don't know when this is going to air, but I've definitely really enjoyed playing at Tohono Chul recently, JoJo's. But I'm always looking for new opportunities and doing a lot of weddings as well in the fall. So, there's not one upcoming thing that's like standing out, but I'm just lucky to be staying busy every month pretty much.
Several thousand years away from home, somewhere east of Eden, west of Rome. Now it looks around, time and space. There's something wrong with this place. Step outside their room. They scroll until their mind is filled with doom. Oh, and empty leaves disappear. It's overrun by hatred and fear. He ventures underground. Somewhere a resistance must be found, and he's listening to the past.
everyone. Thanks for sticking with us to the end. You have been watching Ben Tully live at Tucson Loves Music, backstage at Stageworks. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Milton. That's been a lot of fun. Appreciate it.
And before we end, I just want to thank Tucson Loves Music at TucsonLovesMusic.com and our friends at Stageworks, Pro Sound and Lighting. Please come down and see them at 4500 East Speedway Boulevard, Suite 70. Did I get that right this time? Okay, finally I got that right. If you like what we do, please like, subscribe, ring the bell, all those YouTube things and social media things. Leave some comments. If you are a singer-songwriter, you're in a band, and you want to be featured on our Backstage at Stageworks series, get in touch with the fine folks at Tucson Loves Music, and they'll tell you what you have to do to be on our show. Once again, Ben, thank you so much, and we'll see you next week sometime.